That's good. All right, we'll get underway. This is VK7 OTC, the club station of the Radio and Electronics Association of Southern Tasmania, with our ATV Experimenters Night. And I welcome Hayden, VK7HH. Welcome, Hayden.
Thank you.
And I think this is the first time we've had you in the studio, so
yep.
Good stuff. And I apologise for not having our normal intro today, actually, because I forgot the USB key, didn't I? Common issue. But anyway, what I thought I would get Hayden to give us a bit of a wrap-up, because I think you've had a look at the RD logs that have been submitted by VK7, and they look pretty impressive.
We've got, last count I did was 31, but now I've heard that it's 33. So excellent. 33, I think's more than any other state so far. So
lovely.
Anyone that hasn't put in their logs yet, put them in. But we've done well so far, and there was a lot of participation on the weekend. So
there was. So if that's the most logs, okay. Is there another state that's close to us, or is it sort of pretty even?
VK6 is the closest to us. There was a few VK2s, but VK6 I think is the next closest to us, and it's fairly close there. So, but of course, the amount of logs, it's not really corresponding to how many contacts were made, but
and
still
points. So the participation rates going to be interesting. And so, how did you go? How did you go in the RD?
Well, I went good up until about 3 a.m. and then I fell asleep.
Oh!
I scored about 450 points, which is pretty good considering that I couldn't hear everybody, especially on HF. I didn't do very well on HF, so I've got noise at my place, which affects 40 metres and 80 metres, which I was using. And then,
me too.
Yeah, after about 1 a.m. it died down enough that I could start to make contact.
Okay. I did really well on 160 metres.
Yeah.
Because I retuned my 630 metre antenna for 160, and my best contact was the middle of the night with VK6. So that was fantastic. But I have the similar problem on HF. On 80 and 40 it's absolutely crap, and of course 80 and 40 were the bands of choice.
I had an issue with that. So I didn't hear many on 40 metres.
Okay.
When I went to 80 metres I was hearing everybody, and I put up a dipole which I hadn't had time to tune properly.
Okay.
And in my FT991 the tuner won't, it's very picky about what I can and can't tune.
Okay.
So I could tune up to 3.605 megahertz, but anything higher than that, it just wouldn't do it. So I was sort of restricted to that and below, which was only 5 kilohertz.
And there was
a small portion further down.
Correct.
As well.
And there was a lot of people above 3.6.
Yeah, there was.
Well and truly.
And I did make contact with a few of them, but I lowered the output power down to about 5 watts, so that I didn't end up blowing.
Oh, you can go in the QRP section.
Yeah. If only I made contacts with 5 watts and all the other bands.
A bit of a problem there.
A contact on 2.4 gigs with 5 watts is probably pushing it. I had to run 25 for that.
Oh no, good stuff. So you were on the VHF, UHF and microwave bands. What were you running? What was the frequencies?
So I was on 2 meters.
Yep.
70 centimeters. 1296.
Okay.
I borrowed a Yagi from Rex.
Cool.
At the last minute, so it was good because that put a lot of lot more points in. I think it was 40 contacts on 23 centimeters.
Okay.
In the end. It was a lot. 2.4 gigs. So myself and Richard 7ZBX had 2.4 gigs.
Cool.
And we tried 3.4, but we were just right on the mark of being able to do it. Richard could hear me. I could hear Richard, but he couldn't hear me.
Right.
Because he doesn't have a preamp. So next year, 10 gigs.
Correct.
10 gigs next year.
And we'll sorted the 3.4 gig issue.
Yes. Have you?
No. I tried to test with Richard, but my receiver is still deaf. He could hear me, but I no way in the world could I hear him. I purposely went to Mount Rumney so that I had line of sight to him.
Still couldn't hear him.
Still couldn't hear him.
Yeah.
So just got to deal with it.
On that, we had a quick discussion at Gibbs Tech, and we think that it's probably not worthwhile having that first filter in the chain.
Okay.
And we're thinking of just bypassing it.
Yep.
And see how it goes, because the majority of the loss is in that filter if you don't tune it properly.
Okay.
And you know the issues that we've had with tuning it.
Well and truly.
So that might be worth just bypassing it and see how it goes.
And also, I was going to put the preamp in there, and I've got a 2 watt.
Oh, you've got a preamp?
No, I haven't got a preamp, but I've got the 2 watt PA.
Yep.
From mini kits that I never ended up putting in there. So I think with the preamp and a bit more power, we'll get there.
Yeah.
You know, there's always next year.
Yeah.
And we don't lose 3.4 for quite a while in Tasmania, because we're not in one of those zones that it disappears really quickly in. So watch this space. Anyway, that's the RD. So excellent. Put your logs in. Put your logs in. Put your logs in. Did I say put your logs in?
Yeah, but you did, but not once.
Now tonight we're actually going to do a bit of a outside of the studio broadcast, because tonight is a old test equipment night, and I have to say that Kim Briggs VK7KB has absolutely excelled himself in bringing along a whole bucket load of old test equipment. And what we're going to do is head into the main room, and I've got a camera set up in there that we'll go around to each of the bits of test equipment, and Kim can give us a bit of a précis on what it is, and its era and all of that sort of stuff, and maybe even give us a demonstration on some of them, because I understand that some of them are still actually working items. So we'll head in there and we'll see how we go with a bit of outside broadcast. So
sounds good.
And thank you, Hayden, for. Hope you enjoyed your first experience, and it won't be your last.
It was fantastic. Just don't put anything behind me with this green screen that I don't expect.
No, we'd never do that. So
looks like Kim's raring to go in the other room.
Oh, he is. All right, we'll head in there. Thank you.
The fun begins virtually. Oh, you got the footprint. In the structure. I think we're the ones that was spent about 14 on the washing machine over there. Are you want to hear something sad? I'm my tax now. Maybe I'll get wobble antenna or this or that. I usually get about $80 back. Tax I have for the last 15 minutes. Another $800 back. I walk into the place. First time I ran to this, my friend. Well, now for the final thing. I didn't want to give you a bad experience. So $753.
Okay. We'll do that first.
Why is that? Something went
the main thing about them was very low rumble because they were belt drive.
Set you up with pension. Raw money.
You should really give the signal.
Salary sacrifice back in. It's all supposed to be
Now,
tax neutral.
Kim, give us a bit of a précis on what we're looking at.
Okay, well, if you're looking at the 5245L counter, that's an early recent HP. It's probably about 65, and it's a 125 meg mainframe with a frequency converter in it that gives it 500 meg capability. There was another option for missing out, but that's the way it came. I couldn't find my power cable for this, and unfortunately you brought one, Justin, and I've just powered it up now. I think this unit hasn't been alive for probably close to 25, 30 years, and I was curious to see whether it started up. It's fired up straight away, which I think is quite remarkable. It's in the standard format HP case of that era, with the bluey grey sides and the building handles, so it's fairly typical of the styling I had at the time. Nixie tubes, which is quite sweet in its own right.
With individual drivers for each Nixie tube.
Individual counters to break them down. Quartz reference oven.
That's that one?
Yeah, that's that one. The good sized muffin fan to keep it all happy. And this is the slide out module that you can take out and replace with another module, or just use it. It would have been originally without the module, just a 125 meg counter. They were about 3,000 US when they were new, and I did a rough calculation with an online converter the other day, and it comes in at about 30,000 today in current business. So I reckon probably in the middle 60s you could buy a car for $1,000 Australian, and a house for probably maybe 10.
10. That's exactly right. That's what my parents bought there.
It's remote work. It goes still. It
still goes. I absolutely love it. I'll get a shot. Get a shot of those Nixie tubes. Absolutely love it. So what are we looking at here?
This is a more modern HP counter out of the late 80s. I should put a signal in, I suppose. It's LED display.
Yep.
1.3 gigs, I think. Fairly standard lab frequency counter.
It has a whole lot of other functions you can do with it too.
Yeah, that's right. So you can use it as a counter or an interval timer, or you can use it to trigger things based on a count rate or an interval.
Okay.
So it's a function-driven counter as well as just a straight counter. Yep. Below it, that's XDiv, came out of the auctions years ago. I don't know where the early one came from. Must have been an auction. We used to go to the government auctions a lot. Now the bottom is Tektronix TM500 case. In that particular case, there's a few versions. There's a bench one, which just sits on your bench as you like. But this one's actually the suitcase version. So it comes with two plastic clamshells that go on each end.
Okay. And
the modules plug in and out. So depending on where you're going and what you need to do, you can have an array of the modules. So we've got, you can't see. So we've got an auto-ranging voltmeter.
Yep.
DC power supply. Yep. And a second counter in there, and of course the 2-channel power. Yeah, they're quite nice.
So it's a test bench in a case.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. The Australian one, we were talking about BWD. BWD is actually three surnames. And theirs was called a mini lab, because they only had the power supply and the audio frequency or generator.
Yeah.
And they had a third thing. I can't think what the third thing was. I couldn't find a photo of it, but this is the Tektronix version. The main frame, I've got a couple of those. They came down from Canberra, from the Royal Canberra Hospital, from a guy that bought them at disposals, and the actual modules themselves. I brought some in from the States at one stage, and the other ones came out of the RAF auctions.
Yep.
So they're pretty well an industry standard, nice and compact. Yep. Sit them on the bench, and you had yourself a
test
bench in one, and a power supply, so you could power it up and monitor it and test it at the same time, which is quite sweet.
Fantastic.
Yeah, which is good.
Good stuff.
And the old HP 606 over here, which decided it didn't like being transported today and doesn't want to go anymore. So this is the landscape version of their SIG-Gen, the HF one. Mainstay from the 60s. There are a few models. That's an A, no, it's a B. So 606 is an A and a B. Basically the same generator, just with an evolution of time. Yep. Ran through into the 70s. There was a portrait version, which was VHF, low UHF, and then there was another portrait version that went up into the gigahertz range. We had one at Hobart Airport that went to maybe 6 gigs. They were all out of about the same era. The microwave would be Klystron tuned. These are just conventional oscillators, permeability tuning. It's quite nice.
So what's this go to?
30 gigs, 30 megs, sorry.
30 megs, okay.
Sorry, 65 megs.
65, okay.
Yeah, it's quite good. It's stable. I powered it up a few weeks ago and warmed up after about an hour. It would vary from day to day by about 0.3 of a kilohertz. Just sitting around. So yeah, it still works quite well. Or past tense.
How much does it weigh?
Roughly 35 kilos, maybe 30 kilos. It's not that heavy. It's heavy enough. It's not portable.
Yeah.
So that's again another one that came out of the div auctions probably about 2003, 2005. So yeah, it's brilliant. Beautifully made. Engineering made. Masterpiece.
Definitely. Now, what's next?
Under 200.
So if you want to do portable measurements, 410C, which is the HP solid state DVM. With an RF probe on the side, which has got a rectifier tube in it, which is quite hard to come by these days. Quite nice. They're pretty common. This one's XRAF. Again, out of the auctions. Just designed. A lot of this stuff, when you had military equipment or high-level equipment in the service manuals, had referenced these particular items. And so you probably find that the RAF would have had hundreds of these, and so the 8640B, which was the HF SIG Gen, that was quoted, and there was a military version of it as well that HP made. Because in America they would make, I don't know, maybe 1,000 or something like for a government contract. They had a slightly different number, but it was the same SIG Gen, and they sell them through. These are the same RAF. Quite nice, and it still works quite heavily.
And this was the evolution from the vacuum tube voltmeter.
That's right, yeah. So there's a 410B and a 410A, which are actually the vacuum tube versions.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is the solid state version of it. Quite nice. This is a bit unusual.
Hang on.
This is something that if I open, lock. There we go. It's embarrassing when you can't open it. I'll do it if
I can
here we go.
I can attest that it was out of there just a moment ago.
Who put it in? Okay, inline power meters. These are Motorola, to match the Motorola either service monitors or just for inline use. And these came from Steve 4VN. So different slugs which are tuned for frequency and power. So this is 2 to 550 megs, 25 watts. Okay. And this one's 100 watts, 100 to 250 megs. And so you've got forward power and you've got reverse power. Okay. And they're quite nice.
So this would have been the competitor to the Bird.
Yeah, it was. But it was designed to go with the Motorola test equipment.
Yeah, okay.
So with their service monitors, which was the R2000, I think maybe. Yeah, but they're not very common. You see them around, and there's the sampling contacts inside. So depending on which way you slid it across, there's the centre ones. Well, it works that out there, so the centre one's common. Yeah, quite neat. It's a bit unusual. I've never seen any others. Very neat. I was sort of thinking I wouldn't mind some HF ones, but I suspect they weren't made in HF because the actual sampling coupling between the two wouldn't have been long enough, perhaps. Maybe it was all right high frequencies. Okay. All the manuals. The bottom line is if you buy microwatt meters like the Boonton or the HP are around, if you don't get them with the probes, you don't buy them. The probes are nearly impossible to get hold of. It's a bit like these. There's a few tubes around, but they're quite uncommon. And the other good thing about HP is they have lots of support manuals in it, just manuals for Africa, which is fantastic. It's sort of a Keithley, need some power to fire it up. LCD display, microvolt DVM, 4.5 digits out of the 70s. They were relatively expensive, probably about 2.5, 3 grand. Auto ranging, just plug it in, turn it on, do what you want to measure. This came from the RAF auctions again, and as you can see from the logo. It has an RF probe with a serial number, but I never bought the RF probe and I couldn't get it. And I've never been able to find a manual for it or an RF probe for it. And so it would have been nice to have. So it's effectively a ladder version of that.
What sort of frequency does the RF probe go up to?
I don't actually know because I've never been able to find a doco about it. I've got no idea. No idea at all. And you can do measurements in dB or relative dB or volt ohms. Current and normal sort of stuff, 500 volts, quite neat. I bought some bench power supply, DVMs for the division a couple of years ago, and I ran this against it, and it was still within spec. So I've had it 20 odd years, and it was probably mid 70s vintage. So after 35 years, it's still within its original specs, which I find pretty remarkable.
That's incredible.
It is pretty amazing.
I love the way they roll that.
Yeah, it's neat. Yeah, it hasn't got a battery pack in it, which I should do one day. Which is quite good. It's last calibrated in. It looks like the. Oh no, I can just read it. May 99. There you go. So, yeah, it's pretty neat. So lots of stuff. You can talk about this one.
No, you can talk about this one.
This is again a really early HP TDR. That came from Dave Thorne's estate.
Okay,
that's where I got it.
Didn't realise that.
Yeah, I'm sure that's where it came from. Otherwise, I can't remember where I got it from.
So this would have been Docker SMA, whatever whatever it was back in those days.
Yeah. So
this was the fine one. So you could actually go right down to almost millimetre.
Yeah. To find where you fold it. Yeah, they're quite neat. So you adjust the magnifier scale there. You can set up the position of where you're looking.
Yeah.
Have you used it much?
No.
Does it work?
No, I used it once, and I think that was it. Yeah. And that was to find confirm that there was a faulty piece of coax that I had. Yeah. And there was. So
there's some interesting stuff online. I was looking at TDRs the other day, just out of curiosity, as you read things. I found some application notes from Times, as in the cable people.
Yeah.
And there's a 2-page article talking about ingress of water into cables and how it comes up when you look at it with the TDR. And you can actually have a cable that measures fine at the far end, but
at the other end.
It's wonky in the middle. But if you run the TDR over it, you can actually see the characteristics changing, and you'll see the section that's actually damaged, and you throw it away and put a new one up. But there is a use for it. The portable one, we had a new 5 kilometre long cable for our underwater sensors on the ship, and so we thought we'd better check it and make sure it was okay before we actually went to the trouble of doing a couple of days work putting it on the ship. And I used the little portable one over there, the Checktronics one, and it was a treat. You could work your way down the cable, your 5 kilometres, and we estimated based on the insulation, which was polyethylene, what the velocity effect would be. I think I gave it 0.7 or something, 0.8. And it did there were joints. Yeah, well, there were no joints. That's the thing. It's continuous cable.
Wow.
And it's a huge roll. It was metres high and a metre or so wide.
Go and grab it. We'll have a look at it.
It ain't going to go.
So this is again another one that came out of the auctions some time back. All dumped out, lids over. Hasn't locked.
I'll put my key on.
This has got a chart recorder on it.
Yeah, it has actually.
Oh my goodness.
There we go. Yeah, I haven't used this in yonks. It's a pesky thing, isn't it?
It doesn't want to be up.
Yeah, this gives it a bit of traction. Yeah. HP manual. X-diff again. Alan's used it, haven't you?
Yeah.
It works quite nicely. 78, March 78 manual, so it'll be that sort of view. It's nice, compact. They come with a battery pack. There's no battery pack in this one. It's either run off mains or run off another power supply. But yeah, it's fine. And I'm sure that if we followed it up now, it'd be still quite happy. Yeah. And that's, I think, one of the things I like about this is, I went through my shack the other day.
They just keep going.
As I was telling you, I pulled it all apart and I thought, I wonder what's going to go. And I had a couple of things that failed, or appeared to have failed, but then one of them I found had failed when I first checked it anyway. I'd never got around to fixing it, so that was no status.
The fuse goes in it, and just because the fuses are brittle or something. And
old age. Yeah.
So Alan, you use this?
Yes. There is one interesting quirk with that thing. It ran a NiCad battery, and if the battery wasn't inserted, you couldn't power it off the mains.
That's really weird.
The mains only trickle charged the battery, but it wouldn't power the unit.
Which means that I've always ran it off an external battery connected up to the battery terminals. And in fact, if I look at that, that's my battery lead.
And it's not a pulse, it's a step.
Yeah.
So it's a precision TDR.
Yep. Yeah, it's useful.
Yes, you can, on a BNC or any connector, you can see the discontinuity in the size of the metal through the pin. It's millimetre sort of, I might be overstating this, and nobody's ever fixed that catch.
No, I've forgotten about that. So there you go.
All the leads go into the case, the front case, so they all go together.
Yeah. So that style of what do you call it? Clamshell case is basically what Tektronix used over on that too.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. That's their signature.
Well, it's just convenient.
Well, truly. You go and grab that one and bring it over because we've got a cable length issue. I'm linked to the. Now this is Alan. This is Alan.
I love this little thing.
So.
Wasn't very good for kilometre long cables though.
Did you ever play on the Winston? I've used on 5K cable. I used on a CVD cable.
Not that one.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, because we bought a specific one to do the longer cables, and that had a signed square pulse on it, not a step.
Well, I just had that one at home. I thought we need to test this new cable, and we just fired it up and it worked a treat.
Now this is a piece of engineering marvel.
What I need is...
So what are we looking at now? Kim?
Well, it's an early HP SIG gen, 0.8 to 2.4 gigs. It's got external internal modulation, so you can ALC, square wave, or external pulse AM and FM. I've never used it. I bought it from a bloke in Victoria for $100 or $150.
It's Telstra.
Yeah, it's Telstra. EPS, what's EPS? It's Telstra, some Telstra type thing. I thought, well, and for some project I decided I needed a microwave SIG gen. And brought it down, but it's just a mechanical work of art. So I believe it's a Klystron, and by tuning that, you're tuning the cavity. Yeah. So just lovely. And I haven't powered it up because I didn't have a lead, but now I do have a lead. The one from the TDR, so it's actually running the counter. We have no tools because we can plug that but we can plug it into the other one. Yeah, so
it's phenomenal.
There we go, it's phenomenal. But it's just an absolute work of art. And you can see why that equipment was as expensive as it was. You know,
the amount of work that's gone into just that is just phenomenal.
But you look at it compared with, say, like a 2.4 gig patch or something that you can buy for a few dollars now. There's no comparison, is there? Yeah. So what are we looking at? We're looking at the era of Boeing 707s, 727s.
When it was all about stability, this was the only way that you could actually get the sort of stability at that sort of frequency. It's just
amazing,
fantastic,
absolutely beautiful. Again, same format.
Yep.
Yeah, same case,
same handles.
Same handles. So
it was just their standard
HP production line.
Not one of them is actually.
This one hasn't got zoo fasteners. This one's actually got screws. They went a bit cheap. It's got screws to hold the lids on. Yeah. Whereas the counter over there's got zoo fasteners, which is quite cute.
And in fact, it's there on the 141.
Yeah.
So that's probably an era thing. You could date it based on the.
I don't know. No idea.
Yeah. But, fantastic.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's
absolutely fantastic.
So you're interested to look at the evolution through the displays, and when you go from a purely mechanical display on the 606 to Nixies, to the LEDs, and then different versions of LEDs, and now LCDs on the DVM. It just shows that sort of heritage through there.
Fantastic.
Yeah, pretty amazing.
Good stuff.
And the maze still goes, to be honest. So fired up the 141, and it just fired up. Happy as Larry.
Mine keeps going. Yeah. It's just whenever I use it. The only problem with I had the fuse problem one time.
Yeah.
Where the couple of fuses actually just blew, and I went, is there something wrong here? And so I gingerly put other fuses in. It was fine.
Yeah.
Everything came right good. So it was just the fuses had gone brittle or something.
Yeah, I've got a scaler, and it's actually got a problem. You can smell it gets hot, and the irony is it's the most modern of all the bits of equipment. So that's a job to fix, but everything else seems to go pretty well. And it's all good. HP application notes. HP, the documentation is to die for. Same with Tektronix, but I think HP and Collins were probably the leaders. So there you go, 67, Radio Branch Hobart.
Radio Branch, PMG.
Yeah, APO, Australian Post Office, Radio Branch. That's...
frequency and time standards.
Yeah, 62. And so then when you start looking on the back, there's, the universal counter. So this particular counter that we've got behind us there's the specs on it. $3,000 for the base counter. That gave you 50 megs. I thought it was 125. And then the converter, which is 50 to 500, 575, and that converts, as I said, to about 30 grand. Frequency synthesizer, 6.5 grand, gives you a meg. If you want to go to 10 megs, 7 grand. So it was like serious money when we could be buying cars and things at that time. Cesium being frequency standard, 15.5. So this is US dollars too. I'm not sure of the parity in those days. And so you've got a problem with time. You get the doco from HP and they explain the whole thing through to you, how to calibrate it. And there's the frequency counter down here. You calibrate it with. There's your quartz. And I think I had one of those at one stage. I gave it away. I don't know what happened to it. Grabbed one with a trolley.
One of the originals,
oscilloscopes, yeah. But yeah, it was all systems, and it was designed to do the job, and it did it very well. There's another how you do VLF and LF frequency comparisons. So that would be Amiga type stuff or something. Yeah.
WWV.
Yeah.
In fact, I read something today that they're planning the centenary of WWV. A couple of months' time.
Yeah, so that was time signals, whereas Amiga was direction finding, wasn't it?
Correct.
Yeah.
And LoRaN and
those things. Yeah.
Yep. All sadly a thing of the past.
Very much so. Yeah. Yeah. So it's a remarkable technology, and so much of it we just take for granted now. But everything we've got now is basically built on that history.
Correct. Yeah. And this sort of test equipment, it's just phenomenal.
Yeah.
So
that might be 3.4.
Fantastic.
We've got John down here with these crows.
We have.
See if we can get that together.
We have, definitely. We need a signal source. You got.
But he should have Cal on, didn't he?
Oh, he should have a calibrator on there. Well, I'm sure.
Well, we think we've just calibrated. We don't know.
That'll just give you a square wave.
We're just flopping away.
Now, John, what are we looking at?
$20 bargain.
$20 bargain. Oh, okay. We're just using the calibrate function on the Crow. Cathode ray oscilloscope. That's a real one. None of this LCD OLED stuff. There's a tube in there.
Well, open register.
There you go. John. Okay. Turn around. It's got legs.
The other end, if you can focus in the same spot.
Have you got any idea how it works? None at all. Okay, fine. That's effectively your gain. So the slope in there is because your probe's not quite calibrated. This is the standard step that was used by most good test equipment, which is 0.1 or 125. So you go from 1 volt, 2 volt, 5 volts. If you think about it, 2 is double 1 and 5's double 2 a bit, and then 10's double 5. So you can go clunk, clunk, clunk really quickly, and you can keep it in, you can scale it up or scale it down. So that gives us the amplitude of the signal. So from that we can, in this position, so position up and down, if you put that on ground,
Position.
where? Auto triggering. So in position, when you put that on ground, that shorts the input through, so there's no input, right? And then you can get your reference off the zero, and to do that you need auto trigger, because you've got no input, you can't trigger off the signal. Now if I do that, it will trigger off the
At
signal.
least the DB6NT is still in it.
It's all done over
That's why I got the ones that I got, the SG ones.
They're a mini game.
They're all in a box and they were just... Because I looked at the mini kits.
So now you can trigger on. If we move it to the right, which is see how it's triggering on. That's effectively an upside, right? Yep. So if we go.
We all should have bought this about 7 years ago.
Yeah, slope next to it. There we go.
Okay, so see how it's triggered at the bottom? It's actually firing at the top, that's the negative edge. So some of them you can just leave in one position. As you change the trigger, it'll shift it side to side. This one, so that's triggering up slope, and that's triggering down slope. So if you're looking for a particular, say you want to expand that out and look at it, go out the time base, we can see that pulse widened right out. And so that if you're looking at something you need some detail on, that's why you trigger it down. Whereas if you're looking at it the other way and you're looking at the top, this is a reasonably nice square wave because it's actually the Kel signal. So you can do that. So that gives you amplitude, and that is a bit noisy, but it's okay. That's the fine adjustment. And see how down there it says Kel? Yep. If you turn it right round, that's calibrated. So now you know each one of those squares is 0.1 of a volt. And there's your zero line through there with this set. So you've got 2.5 up, 2.5 down, that's 5 volts. So your Kel signal's 5 volts. And to measure the frequency, this is your time base here. So from the centre line up and across and down and back and up is one cycle. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 divisions, and you've got 0.1 milliseconds per division, so that's 0.4 milliseconds across there. So that's how you can measure the time. And if you want to do the second channel, you can go there. We can even code probe, so we can do the same thing. Put that over there. And it should trigger it. Is it alright?
We'll do on 10 gigs.
I got to go
you scanning the changeovers, you just use a wave.
Okay, so now you've got
EME,
so now that's your A1, so you can have one signal going into there, and you have the other signal going into there. If you go that's two together. So see how that's at that level, and when you put it on there, focus. So it looks fine, it works out good. $20 well spent. If you want to look at, say you've got a power supply and you think it's gone noisy, you could hang this across the power supply, put a load on, so it's got something taking a bit of power off, and you can look at it. So if it's a nice sine wave, you go, this is a problem, it shouldn't be a sine wave, it should be DC, so it should be pretty well static. So if you just go A, turn B off. The easiest way to get triggering going is just go auto, because then it'll just fire itself. And if we go ground, and we put those there, and then you go left, which is there, and then we go back to DC. If you had, say, 12 volt power supply and you hung it off it, and if that was set to 1 volt, 2 volts, it would go up 6 squares, because 6 times 2 is 12 volts. Now, some probes are attenuating probes, and I'll say 10 to 1. Okay, that one is in the 1 to 1 position, so what you get there, you'll get there. If it's 10 to 1, it divides down by 2. So if you can't get the voltage into the screen. If you
Discharge.
turn it to 10, it will then put a tenth of that into the Pro. So you're working on a tenth of it. So whatever you're reading, you multiply by 10. So if we're looking at your 12 volt power supply, you should go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So we probably bring it down a bit. So we'd either bring it down a bit further or we go 5 volts. And then you go 5, 10, 12. So you go, and if you look at it, it's nice and clean, you just have a straight line. But if your capacitors are okay and everything's good. But if you start looking at a lot of rubbish in ripple or it does, that has a bit of a gap in there, you go, one of my rectifiers, and you're only getting halfway through, so if we shift that take one over, and we plug it in, we can probably do that. And it's got 6 in there.